Know your worth, know your time. Don't waste your time on the ones that aren't worth it. This is a good question. So I got my wig when I was in New York City and I decided to go all in that weekend. And as soon as I got it that Friday, wear it the rest of the weekend around New York City. So I decided to just throw myself into the fire into one of the busiest cities in the world, but also one of the cities I could probably care less about if you're wearing a wig or not, and one of those cities where you see everything. Walking out of Shawnee's salon with my wig on, I can tell you I was super self-conscious at first. I kept asking my sister, does it look okay? Can you tell? Is the hairline too harsh? Does it look like a wig? And we went right from Shawnee's to Carbone, again, another popular place for lunch. And I wore it in there. And I just remember having to check my phone the entire time, like do a quick check, always asking my sister for that reassurance. What I did find was the more that I wore it and also the more that I talked to people about it, whether it was family or friends, or of course coming on here and starting this TikTok, that really took a lot of the taboo away because I saw how many women were in the same position that I was in, but also how many women were wearing wigs already or had already owned a wig. There were so many women, like you would not believe how many women came out of the woodworks. Throughout the first couple of weeks, the more that I wore it, both around the house and in different situations, the more and more I became comfortable with it. And honestly, I was exactly like this when I had extensions and I was in the throes of dating in LA and I was so self-conscious. But the more dates that I went on, the more I realized like guys don't care. Like I remember I was like on a third date and we were kissing and he put his hand in my hair and I was like, don't touch my hair. I was like, I have extensions. And that was that. And he didn't get weirded out by it. He was like, okay, cool, whatever. So to me, like the same thing kind of applies if I were to be dating and be wearing wigs. Why do I think that maybe there's some taboo with wigs? I think it's because it's not as talked about and they're not as mainstream as extensions are. If you think about extensions, a lot of hairdressers and hair salons these days specialize in extensions. It is very easy to get tape-ins. It's very easy to get K-tips, to get wefts, any other kinds of extensions, right? It's a fairly easier practice to learn than it is to know how to style a wig, to know what to look for in a wig, to know how to make a wig or install it if you're a wig maker. So I think there's naturally less people out there that are educating on wigs, and it's just more frequent to educate on extensions. But to me, at the end of the day, we all decide to wear different types of hair for different reasons, whether it is hair loss, hair breakage, we want to feel better about ourselves. It could be alopecia, you could be going through a traumatic event like chemotherapy. No matter what the reason is, at the end of the day, for me, it's like, who cares? I'm wearing this for myself because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel beautiful. And if people want to think that it's weird for me to wear a wig, that's their issue. But I was actually able to break past that stigma. And there's no going back for me. What I'm hoping to do on this account is just educate people out there that wigs can be normal and that they are common and they're a very beautiful thing and they're not weird. They're just like extensions. If you think about extensions, I literally had a track of hair sewn into the back of my head. Like right now, I'm basically just wearing like a baseball cap of hair on my head. Why is that so different? At least I can take it off at night. At least it's not sewn into my head like I'm literally a piece of clothing or a piece of upholstery. Like to me, what I'm wearing on my head right now is so much more normal than like taping wefts into my hair. I'm gonna continue to shout from the rooftops how amazing wigs are and let the girls know that there are other options out there. And a quick dating tip, the right guy isn't going to care that you have a wig on or that you're wearing fake hair. My husband didn't care that I had extensions when we first met, and he certainly doesn't care that I wear a wig now. So know your worth, know your time, don't waste your time on the ones that aren't worth it.